Below 1,000 meters, the ocean turns blacker than a sealed room. No sunlight has ever reached here. For most of human history, no one could go this deep and return to describe it. So you're already thinking it. Nobody back then could possibly have known what it's like down here. Hold that thought. And yet, this exact darkness in the deep sea was described over 1,400 years ago, written before we could look, and it is only the beginning. The Quran calls itself a book of signs, ayat, moments meant to make you stop and think. We will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth. These are simply signs, moments to pause and notice. 7 of them. We'll count down to the one that's closest to home. The Quran calls the mountains a strange word, autad, stakes. Have we not made the earth a resting place, and the mountains as stakes? A stake is mostly hidden. The small part you see holds down a much larger part buried underground. For most of history, a mountain was just a big rock sitting on the surface. Then geology found something. A mountain doesn't just sit on the crust, it sinks a root deep into it, and that hidden root helps stabilize the plates around it. The visible peak is the small end. The stake goes down. A stake for a mountain. Pause on that word. That was under your feet. The next one covers your head. Look up at a thundercloud and it feels like chaos. It isn't. It's a sequence, and it happens in a specific order every time. Wind drives scattered clouds together. They join. They mass into a towering cloud. Only when that mass has formed does the rain fall, and from the frozen mountains of the cloud, hail, and finally, lightning. Do you not see that Allah drives clouds? Then He brings them together. Then He makes them into a mass, and you see the rain emerge from within it. And He sends down, from the sky, mountains of clouds within which is hail. The flash of its lightning almost takes away the eyesight. Drive, join, mass, rain, hail, lightning. That is the order meteorology teaches today, the life cycle of a storm cloud, named in sequence in one verse. The storm forms inside the sky, but the sky itself is doing something else for you, quietly, every second. Right now, tons of rock are hitting the Earth from space every single day. You never notice because almost none of it reaches you. The atmosphere burns up the vast majority of incoming meteoroids before they land. Above it, a magnetic field turns away the stream of charged particles the sun throws at us, radiation that would otherwise strip this planet bare. It is not an impenetrable wall, it is a shield. And we made the sky a protected ceiling, but they, from its signs, are turning away. A protected ceiling, not just a roof over your head, one that actively guards what's beneath it. That shield is invisible, the whole sky, quietly guarding you. The next sign isn't above you at all. It's the closest thing there is, how you were made. We've looked up, out, and overhead. Now look at the thing doing the looking, you. How a single human being is formed, a process no one could watch until the microscope. And certainly did we create man from an extract of clay. Then we placed him as a sperm drop in a firm lodging. Then we made the sperm drop into a clinging clot, and we made the clot into a lump of flesh, and we made the lump into bones, and we covered the bones with flesh. Then we developed him into another creation. So blessed is Allah, the best of creators. Notice the order. First, an extract of clay, the elements of the earth. Then a single drop settled deep in the womb. Then a clinging form, gripping the wall of the womb. Then a lump, like a small piece of chewed flesh. Then bones, the skeleton, taking shape first. Then flesh, wrapping over those bones. And finally, a whole new creation, stage after stage, in perfect order, described plainly, 14 centuries before a microscope could confirm a single word of it. That was the smallest beginning of you. Now go the other way, to the largest thing there is. For most of history, everyone, including Einstein at first, assumed the universe was static, fixed. Then, in 1929, Edwin Hubble showed the galaxies are racing apart. The universe is not still. It is expanding. So, what does expanding actually mean? Picture every galaxy as a dot on a sheet that is being stretched. The galaxies aren't flying through space. Space itself is stretching, and it carries them apart. Stand on any one of them, and every other galaxy races away from you. And we can measure it. The light from distant galaxies arrives stretched, its color shifted toward red, and the farther the galaxy, the faster it is going. That is how we know the universe is growing. And the Quran named it 14 centuries before we could. And the heaven we constructed with strength, and indeed, we are its expander. Now, honesty matters here. This isn't a modern invention. The classical commentator Ibn Kathir explained this very word as Allah extending the vastness of the heaven, raising it ever higher. Modern translators render it simply expander. The reading of a widening heaven was there in the tradition long before Hubble, written before we could look. Again. We pause here for a while to let you think. 1400 years ago, the Quran said that the heaven, the universe, is being expanded. There were no telescopes 1400 years ago, and even if there had been a telescope, this could not have been observed with it. An expanding universe is not something the eye can watch. It took machines that measure the color of starlight itself before anyone could know, yet it was already written, a sign from Allah to reflect on. Keep counting down. 2 more signs. Every wave you have ever seen happens in one place, the line where the water ends and the air begins. That is what a wave is, a boundary being lifted and dropped. So the sea should only have one set of waves. It does not. Here is the verse, Surah An-Nur, verse 40. Or layers of darkness in a vast deep sea, overwhelmed by a wave, above which there is another wave, above which there are clouds. Layers of darkness, one above the other. One verse, 2 things. The first, waves, a wave, and above it, another wave, and clouds over the top. The second, darkness, layers of it, one above the other. Hold both. We are going to find them, one at a time. Because the sea is not one body of water, it is layers. Near the top, the water is warmer and less salty, so it is lighter. Further down, it is colder and saltier, so it is heavier. And heavy water will not mix upward into light water. It settles beneath it, and it stays there. So the ocean has a second boundary. Not water against air, but light water resting on heavy water. And a boundary is all a wave needs. That hidden line does exactly what the surface does. It lifts, it drops, it rolls. A wave running through the middle of the sea, with the surface above it lying almost flat. And we did not find them by looking, because you cannot see them. We found them because a ship could not move. In 1893, the explorer Fridtjof Nansen was sailing north of Siberia. The sea was calm, the engines were fine, and his ship slowed almost to a stop, as though something below was holding it. Sailors called it dead water, and no one could explain it. 11 years later, Van Walfrid Ekman poured 2 layers of liquid into a tank and pulled a model hull across the top. The surface stayed calm, and the boundary underneath it broke into waves. Those hidden waves were dragging the ship. So far, 2 ceilings stand between you and the sun. The waves you can see, and the wave you cannot. But there is one more, and it does not sit in the water at all. It sits above it. Clouds. Before a single ray of sunlight ever reaches the sea, the clouds have already taken part of it away. A third veil over the light. So, the first sign. A wave hidden beneath the waves. Invisible from the surface. Not even suspected until the 1890s. Described 14 centuries before anyone found it. Now put every piece into one picture. Here is the sea, cut open from the side, a boat on top. The waves we all see rolling across it. Beneath the sunlit layer, the hidden wave rolls along its boundary. And above all of it, the clouds. Now the verse. Watch it land on the picture we just built, word by word, overwhelmed by a wave. There it is, the internal wave, hidden on the boundary where light water meets heavy water, above which there is another wave. There, the waves on the surface, the only ones anyone could ever see, above which there are clouds. There, the clouds above. Every word has something in the water. Once more, watch each word land, overwhelmed by a wave, the internal wave, above which there is another wave, the waves on the surface, above which there are clouds, the clouds above. 3 phrases, 3 real things in the ocean, and in the same order. But the waves are not the only sign in this verse. It also speaks of darkness. Part 2. The darkness. Look at the ruler down the side. That is depth. Go down 200 meters and the last of the sunlight is gone. Blue is the final color to die. Go down to 1,000 meters and nothing arrives at all. No dawn, no dusk, no glow. This is not dark like night. Night has stars. Night has a moon. This is nothing. And here is what that means for a body like yours. A person holding their breath reaches about 20 meters. You would have to fall 50 times further just to reach the top of that darkness. So, how do we know? Look at how long it took us to get down there. In September 1930, a diver named Jim Jarrett put on an armored suit and was lowered into Loch Ness. He reached 123 meters. That was the best a man in a suit could do. 4 years later, on the 15th of August 1934, William Beebe and Otis Barton were lowered off Bermuda inside a steel ball called a bathysphere. They stopped at 923 meters, and only because the cable ran out. That record stood for 15 years, 14 centuries before it was reached. And there is the second sign: total darkness, deep in the sea. No one in the 7th century could have known this. It was only reached by machine in 1934. And the darkness, it is in the verse too. Layers of darkness, one above the other, right there, on the ruler, where nothing arrives at all. Two things in one verse. Both of them are in the deep sea. Go back to the start of this video, that first minute, the one you watched before you knew any of this. Watch it again. This time, you know what you are looking at. Watch the light die. Watch the blue drain out. Watch the color go, one by one, until the screen is black. You are not watching an opening. You are watching the verse. It is a sign from Allah to reflect on. We've traveled the whole creation, mountain, storm, sky, your own beginning, the cosmos, the deep. One sign remains, and you carry it everywhere, your own skin. The last sign is the closest one of all. It is your own skin. A mild burn, the kind that just turns your skin red, is agony. But the very worst burns, the deepest ones, can leave a patient feeling almost nothing at all. The worse the injury, the less it hurts. That sounds backwards. So let's open the skin and see why. This is your skin, cut open. The top layer is the epidermis, and it is thin, about 1/10 of a millimeter, thinner than a sheet of paper. Under it is the dermis, and that one is thick, and below that, fat. Now the nerve endings that let you feel pain are called pain receptors. And here is the key. They are not below your skin. They are inside it, and most of them live in the dermis. Now watch what happens as a burn goes deeper. A first-degree burn stops at the epidermis, that hairline at the very top. Every pain receptor beneath it is untouched, so it is only moderately painful. A second-degree burn reaches into the upper dermis, right where the receptors sit. And this one is the most painful of all. A deeper second-degree burn goes further still, destroying the receptors it passes, so now there is only minimal pain, felt just with deep pressure. And a third-degree burn goes all the way through epidermis, dermis, into the fat beneath. It passes every pain receptor you have and destroys them on the way down. The result? No sensation, no pain. So follow what that means. 1. The skin is burned all the way through, and every pain receptor in it is destroyed. The fire is still there, but the pain is gone. 2. Now give that person new skin. Fresh skin with fresh pain receptors in it. 3. And the feeling comes back. He feels the fire again, completely, as if it were the first time. And then it can happen again. Burned through, no feeling. New skin, feeling returns. Over and over. That is the only way the pain could continue. The skin has to be replaced. None of this is guesswork. The depth of each burn, and the pain that comes with it, is taken straight from the reference doctors use to classify burns. Rachel Warby and Christopher Marney, Burn Classification, in Stat Pearls, 2023. Now read what was revealed 14 centuries ago. Indeed, those who disbelieve in our verses, we will drive them into a fire. Every time their skins are roasted through, we will replace them with other skins so they may taste the punishment. Indeed, Allah is ever exalted in might and wise. This was revealed in the 7th century. Pain receptors were mapped in the skin only with modern medicine. It is a sign from Allah to reflect on. In the horizons, the Quran said, the mountains, the storm, the sky, the cosmos, the sea, and within themselves. This was the within. The sign was you, all along. 7 signs: a stake driven into the earth, a storm built in order, a guarded sky, a human being formed stage by stage, a universe reaching outward, a darkness beneath darkness, and the feeling of pain written into your own skin. These are just some of them. 14 centuries ago, plain words described the deep sea, the storm, the sky, the womb, the cosmos, and your own skin. Look at what that tells you about the book they came from. This is the Quran. And the signs were never the destination. They are how you come to know the book. The same Quran that told you where pain lives also tells you why you are here. Your purpose, your feelings, your wants, your needs. On the day of judgment, the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, will turn to his Lord and say, "O my Lord, indeed, my people have taken this Quran as a thing abandoned." And to abandon it, Ibn Kathir explained, is to leave it unread, unpondered, unlived. So do not be among them. Read it, reflect on it. That is tadabbur, and live by it. For sufficient is your Lord as a guide and a helper. Follow his book, and insha'Allah, he will guide you to success in this life and the one after it.